Happy Valentine's Day. Today we're gonna do some qualifying. Qualifying is not just for getting the fastest lap time, but it's also for practice. So the more laps you put down, the more muscle memory you develop. And before I do any racing for the day, I always start with some qualifying. If I can get in at least 5 qualifying laps, then I'm typically going to the race because I'm kind of in the zone. You know, you can be an elite athlete, but you're probably going to do calisthenics and warm-ups before the game. It just gets your body ready, get your mind ready. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so for today's drill, I'm just going to jump right in following the ghost of one of the top 10 on the leaderboard. I'm driving the Super Racing Concept 2018. I have a fastest qualifying time of 1:34.594. My target for improved qualifying times is a minute and 34 seconds flat, so I'm trying to shave at least half a second, and what that's going to do is it's going to bump me up into my qualifying times. So again, this is just qualifying, not a race right now. I've been following R8G Lloyd's Elite, so I'm going to load that ghost. And then just work on some drills. The drills to start off with is very simple. I'm just going to put a few laps down and see where my times are, and then I'll start picking corners to focus on. I do plan on doing some racing a little bit later, but I really need to get my qualifying times down so that I can place higher at the beginning of the race, which then makes it more likely that I'm going to place either first, second, or third. So the highest this week that I've come in is 4th place. I've gotten 4th place probably in 3 races. And so I really need to, and I've qualified 8th. So I've moved up 4 spots in those races. So if I can qualify 4th, 5th, or 6th instead, then I'm more likely to win a race, which I plan on getting a podium by either today or tomorrow. It's just typical of the week. The ghost car that I'm following is the 2nd fastest in the world on this particular track for the week. I am not trying to sorry for that. I'm not trying to beat that car. I just use it as a pace. Almost like when greyhounds follow a rabbit, if they do that anymore. They're not chasing the rabbit, it just makes them go faster. So this is my first out lap. Basically the first lap of the day of qualifying. And it's usually pretty sloppy. I'm guessing I'll come in at about a 1:37, maybe 1:36.25. That's not bad. So over the next several laps, I'll start dialing it in with a little bit more speed and consistency. Not like that though. So the blue numbers above my speed, when it's blue, it's indicating that it's faster than the fastest lap of this particular session. I've only done 1 lap this session, which means it's faster than my first lap. So I expect my second lap I get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more dialed in, and not like that. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So now it's red because I'm behind. I made a mistake. Happy Valentine's Day. I am not ignoring my beautiful wife. She got flowers, chocolate, a card, 3 gifts, and I'm going to be making her dinner tonight because I want her to be able to do whatever she wants, and because I get to do what I want, and you know, it's how we take care of each other. So happy Valentine's Day. Hope you done something special for your boo or done something special for yourself. That was a pretty good segment right there. If you're rooting for me, we're trying to keep that top number above the speed in the blue. I'm still doing pretty good. I lost a little bit of speed on that. But if it stays blue, it means that we're going faster than the fastest lap of the session. I'm not working on a particular drill right now, other than just come out and put down several laps. Once I put down several laps, then I'll pick a corner and start working on that corner, or 2 or 3 corners. And I know there's at least one corner that I can go faster. This will be a good lap. 135.7. My goal is 134 flat. My record is 134.594. So I'm getting close to the record. So I'm in the red right now. Now I'm in the blue. This corner right here is the corner that I can pick up the most speed. Because it's so apparently difficult for me. When I get it right, I'm carrying about 80 to 83 miles per hour. When I get it wrong, I'm carrying about 65 miles per hour. The fastest car carries about 94 miles per hour. So I have some room to get better. So yeah, I'm way behind on this particular lap, but it's okay because every corner practice counts. Alright, so I plan on doing a good lap. I'm going to settle in. See there, the lowest speed was 72 miles per hour. My target is to be at least 83 miles per hour The fastest car does that at 94 miles per hour. So I've got to get really consistent on that corner, and I've got to get comfortable carrying more speed. Alright, I'll probably do 1 or 2 more laps, and as long as I'm relatively consistent, hitting the 135, 136 mark, then I will start working on a particular corner. So far, so good. Right there, carried 80 miles per hour at the lowest point through that corner. My target is 83 miles per hour or faster. Got a really good pace on this lap. I'm about a second ahead. So I'll finish this maybe in the 134s. And that was my fastest lap. So I'm actually getting faster. That was my record lap for the week. Which means this qualified session is already paying off. There's still more speed to find. Unfortunately, I'm not going to find it on this lap. I've already lost more than a half a second. It's okay. I got a little excited. That was the fastest I've gone through that, or at least the most speed I've carried. I went a little wide at parts of the corner, but I carried 87 miles per hour. The fastest car carries 95. I know I've said that a million times. But normally I'm carrying around 75 to 80 miles per hour, and I just carried 87 miles per hour. So that's the corner that I'm going to be working on. So this lap, I'm just going to try to run a clean lap. I've already gotten a faster qualifying time, which moves me up by 1 or 2 spots. But I'm going to focus on that one corner right now, while being consistent and clean through the rest of the course. This is the corner coming up here. Really focus on. So while I wasn't the fastest, I was about 81, 82 miles per hour. I did like the line that I took. So I am about 800ths of a second, 900ths of a second off my fastest lap. So from a consistency standpoint, I'm very pleased with that. I'm not going for time on these laps right now. I'm just going for an improved corner speed. I don't know which corner it is. Usually you refer to a corner by its number or by its nickname. I have no idea. But it's this corner coming up that we're working on. 83, but a fairly good line. 83 miles an hour, fairly good line. So if I can do that line again, but bump that back up to the 87 miles per hour that I saw a couple laps ago, I'll be in pretty good shape. And then what happens is once I get really comfortable and build some muscle memory on that particular corner, then what I'll do is I'll try to put down more consistent laps and focus on the whole track. And hopefully we'll see my record lap times improve. My drills also include watching from the perspective of the Ghost. The Ghost right now that I have is the second fastest Supra in the world for the week on the Kyoto Driving Park, which is the track that I'm driving on. So I'll watch, now that I'm getting better, if you will, I'll watch that to see what else can I do that driver is doing that I can emulate on particular corners. Sometimes it's the angle of the car at certain points throughout the corner. Sometimes it's the braking point. Sometimes it's what point in the corner does the driver get back on the throttle. So again, this isn't my fastest lap, it's okay. I'm looking for this particular corner coming up. That wasn't bad. I can certainly carry more speed. I didn't really like the line. I feel like if I was any faster taking the line that I just took, I would have went too wide and really lost control of the car. So I need to come at that at a different angle next time. Easier said than done. When I can't figure a corner out, maybe I'm getting a little bit closer, which I'm pretty close now. That's when I'll go watch the Ghost lap from that driver's perspective and see exactly what they're doing and just pick it apart, maybe replay it over and over again. It's almost like having a driver coach. That time I took that corner a little bit differently and I lost traction on my front wheels. So I wasn't able to carry the same amount of speed. But, I mean, we're talking about 0.2 of a second, so it's not so bad, but it can make a difference. All right, this is the corner that we're working on. I like the line. That was the fastest that I've taken that corner, and already you can see my time differential coming down. I didn't see what the speed was. That was too wide. But it's okay, it was the other corner that we're working on, so the rest of the track is just simply practice. Maybe you saw what the speed was. It looked like I was high 80s. At the lowest point is what I'm referring to. So what was the slowest speed through that corner? Here's the corner coming up. So I didn't see if that was 85 or 86, but I'm still happy. I am getting faster and I'm getting more consistent. And that's just gonna make my overall lap time that much easier to bring down if I can master that corner. So in my drills, I do try to pick the hardest or most challenging corner. And if I can master that, then it makes the rest of the track easier to master. That's how you win races. So I had a little wheel spin. I was actually on pace for my fastest lap, and I had the wrong angle, and I put the power down a little bit too soon during the turn, and I wasn't able to bring it home. So I think this one will be my last lap where I'm focusing on this corner. '86 miles an hour, and I like the line. It was fairly decent. I slowed down a little bit compared to my fastest lap, but you know, from a consistency standpoint, I don't need to hit my lap record all the time. In fact, it's not likely, otherwise it wouldn't be a record. But to do it well and to do it really close to the record time each time means consistency, and it means winning races. Alright, 135.097. That's only a half a second off of my, or a little bit more than a half a second off my record time. I've hit several 135s, so I'm feeling pretty good about consistency. I'm gonna watch the perspective of the number 2 car and see if we can get some insight on that corner. Oh, the number 2 car is bumped back up to number 1, which is the R8G Lloyd's Elite. That's who I follow this week. So we're gonna watch the replay. We're gonna change the perspective so it's the same view that I normally have. Also the Supra, as you can see, that's actually my design, the gold with the red and black. So I'm watching this section, but I'm not concentrating on this section. I'm really looking to break down the next section. So top of the hill here, we're gonna be at about 143 miles an hour mark. We're gonna brake right about here, and we're gonna turn in here. Okay. Okay, so at the point where we are braking, and then we start our turn in, I noticed that I'm not turning in this early. I'm probably turning in a little bit later because this angle looks like we're pointed right at that curbing and not the track next to the curbing. So it's more towards the cone than being on the track. And I imagine that we're going to drive over the curbing way more on the inside. I wouldn't be facing the curb this much. I'm a little bit wider out, which means I need to make a wider S. And that's what's slowing me down and making me lose speed. So at this angle, the right wheels of the car has all the weight, and it's going to graze the outside edge of the curb. The left side wheels on the passenger side, or on the driver's side, the left side wheels are actually going to be in the grass. And we're not worried about that because that's not considered out of bounds. So the right wheels are going to graze the outer side of that curb. And to me, that's where I'll be able to make up speed. And so we can come out of our perspective and we can see the angle of the car. See, the right side of the wheels are grazing the inside. The right wheels are grazing the outside portion of the curbing. My car is positioned where the left wheels are more on the curbing and the right wheels are farther onto the track, if that makes sense. So if we're here, I'm wider out. I'm on the track, which means I have to make a wider arc. This is much more of a straight line, and that's where I'm losing speed. If we look here, the speed being carried is 95 miles an hour. At this point, I'm carrying about 80 miles an hour, or 83, or the last few laps between 83 and 86. So if a car is going 10 miles an hour faster, it's like sitting still while a car just drives past you at 10 miles an hour. We're focused on the line here. I already know the speed. This one I'm really not doing. My left wheels are actually on the track here. And this is where the fastest car is actually driving through the grass. Look at the perspective. We're about to go into the grass. Look at that. I'm definitely not doing that. Which again, this is more of a straight line attack through the curves. I'm making a wider arc and forming more of an S. From here I do pretty well. I don't like the line that's taken here. I'm afraid if I do this, I'm gonna lose control. This is really very much in the grass or really close to it. I'm not doing that. I feel much more comfortable with my right side wheels on the tarmac, which is just on the outside of the curbing. So let's run that back. And we'll flip perspectives. Let's do this and let's look at the position of the car. Watch how straight this line becomes. It's just a bit of an S curve. I'm making a much wider S and not able to carry as much speed. So if I can clean that up, I can probably shave about a half second off my time, which is my goal. My goal is to get down to 134 flat, and I'm at 134.4. So let's try it. So I'm focused on the race line, not the speed, just the line. Again, it all started with having an earlier turning point. 143, come on. Not quite as fast, but it's okay. Oh, I might get a penalty for going too far off the track. There it was. So that's the danger of driving so far into the grass, is, you know, a couple inches off the mark and there's a penalty. It's all good. I'll have another chance to get back at it. So with the penalty, the only thing that happens is through the penalty portion of the track, the penalty line that it's referring to, it cuts the engine for the amount of time that I'm penalized for. So you'll see here, my engine will cut for a second. So not a big deal. If I was going for times right now, I'd be a little bit more concerned. That was pretty wide. What happens when you go wider, you end up losing time. You really want to straighten out your turns as much as possible. All of this right now is throwaway. I'm really looking to attack that corner. See how that wider arc slowed me down? Because I was afraid to get another penalty. Alright, so I'm going to do one more practice, and then I'm going to take a quick break and come back on and probably do some racing. I feel pretty good. I'm not as high in the grid that I want to just yet, but I do feel like racing. That was pretty wide. So I have to watch that when I am putting down a fast lap. I keep taking that a bit too wide. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. A little wide. Lost some speed with some tire, or with some grip, but I went through it faster than the last time. So that one corner is going to get faster with time and practice. I'm not really hung up on it right now. One thing that I am noticing about this particular qualifying session that I've had is my shift points. So instead of redlining, going all the way up to, the 8,000 RPM before I shift, what I noticed is that the fastest car is actually shifting around 7,250, and that appears to be the most optimal shift point for the gearing of this car. And I noticed that it accelerates faster when shifting at 7,250 instead of 8,000. I'm not doing that consistently because I'm focused on other things. So that's one thing that I picked up on from this session that I need to make sure that I'm doing to carry more speed. That being said, I did hit a new record. I did come down by about a little more than 1/10 of a second. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I found out what is making the fastest car faster through the corner that's giving me the most trouble. All right, I'm gonna take a break and then I'll come back fresh. It's always good to take a step back and reset. You'd be surprised at how nice your laps are when you take a break. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.